Greetings. Welcome to another session of the 10-Minute POV. Today's guest is Marcelo Tamassia, CTO of Syntax, a leading AWS consulting partner specializing in ERP migrations and managed services on AWS. We're also joined by AWS's own Mike Dowling, who leads the AWS partner business for US Central. So Mike, please take it.
You bet, Chip, and thank you very much for making this connection both with Syntax and their global CTO, Marcelo Tamassia. One of the reasons why we do these POVs is to get to know a little bit more about the people who comprise our AWS partners and some of the stories that they have that aren't all that easy to convey on a partner battle card. I find that they're more enjoyable when it's coming directly from the people themselves. And our goal is to build up some curiosity about our partners that we're working with and give us the opportunity to have many of these discussions over time. And so with that being said, I'd like to get to know a little bit about you, Marcelo. Having spent a little time researching you and Syntax, of which, of course, you're now the global CTO through acquisition, I found that you did something pretty hard. And I love the idea of doing hard things. You can see it on the logo behind me. And it's an incredible opportunity to understand a little bit more about somebody who co-founded an AWS partner focused on JD Edwards. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about your background that got you to that place, and then what led you to decide, I'm going to build an AWS partner from scratch. I'm going to focus on JD Edwards, and I'm going to use AWS as an opportunity to go after Oracle customers.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And first and foremost, thank you for inviting me to be here. Excited to be talking to you guys. And I have to say, you pronounced the name precisely, which is not always easy to do. Great job there.
Glorious.
Yeah, so my background, as you mentioned, is in the JD Edwards Oracle ERP space. I've done a significant amount of consulting, travel all over the world doing implementations, rollouts, and really focus on that ERP. And as I'm working with those customers, as I'm doing consulting, implementations, I'm starting to feel more and more that agility is the number one challenge that we have with those projects, right? So saw an opportunity to create a company to provide different services in a different platform to the customers. And at the time, and this is around 2012, there was not a lot of mature public cloud platforms, right? AWS was a clear choice for us because honestly it was the only platform that was reliable and had a certain level of scale that we were looking for. So the decision was pretty easy there. However, for us, what we really wanted to do is keep our focus up the stack, right? We didn't want to manage servers, manage infrastructure. We wanted to manage the ERP, but we needed a reliable foundation, a reliable platform for us to run that ERP, right? So that's why we saw public cloud, and more specifically AWS, as a key path or a key milestone for us to get to the point that we can really focus on the application, which is really what my background was, right? So we partnered with AWS and went to market. And the interesting thing is at Emerald Cube, the company that I started, we never had any servers. So I guess today you call that like born in the cloud or cloud native, right? We're doing that before those names were around. And we were really focused on we're doing everything on the cloud. And we went to market with this offer to take JD Edwards to AWS. And we sold one. And during that sales cycle, we developed a good relationship with the CIO. And after we were awarded the contract, and it was a very competitive deal, I asked him, I said, look, Emerald Cube, we're small, we're 5 guys working from my basement, actually. And, we competing against a lot of different companies. Why did you pick us? And he said, well, no offense, but I really didn't pick you guys. I chose AWS, and you guys are the only ones that I know that actually have the chops with the application layer to bring me there. So that was a bit of a aha moment for us. And that's when we decided to go all in and really start investing in, tools, technology, automation, so we can really, really be more effective and efficient into delivering those experiences for the ERP customers, right? And then pretty quickly, as we start to grow and sign up more clients, we noticed the pattern. As AWS, at that time, 2012, 2013, VPC had just come out like 2010. So there's a lot of things that we take for granted today that didn't exist. So the pace of innovation was very, very, very fast at the time, but some of the things being released were super, super critical for our customers. So we quickly realized that for us to bring value to the customers, we had to be on this augmentation game. So we started looking at the AWS services as Lego blocks, and we saw us as an expert on the ERP, as a company that would come in and connect those blocks, build the missing pieces, glue them together so we could bring better services to our customers. So that's when we started investing heavily on this continuous process of taking AWS innovation and bringing that to our customers, right? Along the way, we signed up quite a few customers that are in the central region. It was a large conveyor belt manufacturer. They had obsolete infrastructure. They wanted to modernize that infrastructure with their ERP. We took them over to AWS. And as we continued to grow, it got to a point that the opportunity in front of us was bigger than what we could conquer alone. And that's when we decided, we need additional investment, or we need to partner with someone, or we need to join forces. And that's where Syntax comes in, right? So we decided to partner with Syntax. They've been great partners. And right after the acquisition, we acquired a company, Freudenberg IT, or FIT, that is specialized in SAP and has a global SAP capability. So very quickly, right, we got SAP ERP in the mix. And then we continued to invest in the AWS platform. I would say we quadrupled the invest in the technology, the automation. We continued to close some really large Oracle clients. We have a large metal manufacturer in Columbus, also in Central Region, that we brought them from on-prem, obsolete infrastructure. They had lots of instability issues into AWS as well. And then we invested to augment and expand our technology so we could better operate and migrate SAP customers to AWS, right? And we've been doing this to the point that we're now leveraging about 52 different AWS services to provide our managed services to our customers, right? So we believe we have to be cloud native and have to be cloud deep. And that's the key differentiator for us, right? We really know those services, and we really try to use as many of them as it makes sense. And we are seeing great momentum. Just in the last 6 weeks, we signed 4 net new SAP deals on AWS.
Marcelo, that is an incredible story. First and foremost, what an awesome decision to make to go after something that you're really passionate about. You took the skills of working for a vendor and created a partner to support customers of that vendor. Mm-hmm. And you chose the right cloud, so it appears, correct?
Yeah.
And in doing so, you have also been able to build a cloud native approach in this mm-hmm. partnership mm-hmm. and attract a larger partner who is more legacy in historical business to mm-hmm. give them even more capability to augment their services for their customers. And you actually touch on 2 huge areas for us: Oracle customers on AWS, and of course, SAP. And I'm real curious to understand your point of view as your customers are making a decision to go to the cloud. For those 2 ERP platforms in particular, what are you finding that they're struggling with when they're determining what they want to do with the cloud and choosing the right platform for them? Yeah,
absolutely. So as you mentioned, we meet and talk to a lot of CIOs and VPs on both the Oracle and SAP space, right? And I think there are 3 items that I would say probably cover the majority of those pain points, right? The first one is customers that have either on-prem or colo or private cloud infrastructures that they are trying to get better availability or a better global reach, right? And the reason why this is important, especially if you look in the Oracle space, right? We have created a design pattern for Oracle JD AdWords that leverages multi-AZ, that leverages multi-regions, and can bring like an unprecedented availability and uptime to those customers. So the customers that are struggling with stability, those are definitely some that are looking for public cloud as a new way to do things to get better stability. We also see customers that are looking for better performance, with scalability without breaking the bank, right? So customers are either, they have, for example, month-end processes that they want to run faster, right? So with good automation, that will auto-scale IO throughput. For them, we know the ERP, we know when month-end is done, and we scale that back down, so they only pay for the throughput during the time that it matters to them, right? So that's very compelling to customers. That's scalability and that performance on demand is a key things that customers are looking for, especially if the customers are growing and scaling. And finally, the one that I think is the most important ones are the ones that realize that the public cloud is really about a destination, it's a journey, it's about landing in a feature-rich platform that they can innovate, right? And a good example, recently we have a large water heater manufacturer in Wisconsin. They were building an SAP data lake using Redshift, Spectrum, and Glue. So those are the customers that are seeing the beyond ERP, as we call, right? So now you get your systems in there. Yes, you modernize, you improve your uptime, availability, performance. And now you are in an environment, a situation that you really can start innovating, think about what matters to your business, and get out of the business of maintaining infrastructure and really get into innovation and differentiation for your business. So those are the three pain points and things we hear the most, Mike.
I love the forward thinking that you've got to think beyond ERP.
Yeah.
A lot of what you're talking about, Marcelo, is these are business challenges. They're not technology challenges. They need these types of uptimes because they've got to do their day-to-day business, and they want to be more effective at it, and they want to be more efficient, and certainly they want to have price optimization in the infrastructure that they're leveraging. I'm going to switch gears on you because you've got an incredible message to deliver, and I think COVID-19, the pandemic, has hit us like a 2-mile long train. I mean, it is going and going and going, and it has changed, I believe, the way that we certainly have done business in the past and will be changing the way that we do business in the future. We're all adapting. And one of the things that I'm curious to find out from you is, how do you see COVID-19 affecting your customers who are looking to find good information about solutions that can solve some of these challenges that they have? How are you able to reach them, and how are they able to reach you in this virtual world?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we are seeing with COVID, and I think when we look at COVID, we have to look into kind of like two phases, right? The first initial scare and the first initial phase where it was all about self-preservation, cash preservation, do the bare minimum, all the uncertainty, and then what we call the new normal, right? Which is kind of where we are, which is, this still around us. We don't know, no one knows with certainty how long it's going to take, but undoubtedly, like you said, it has changed how companies operate, right? So when you look at those two dimensions, what we are seeing a lot in the early days is customers just trying to solve short-term pain points. Like, for example, my people are not working from home and I don't have the infrastructure. So one good solution we came up with, partnered with AWS, we gave a month free VPN, AWS workspaces. We created an offer around that to help those customers in the early days. And then more on the later stages, now we have customers, the employees are no longer going to the office and they have infrastructure to operate, and they're starting to be concerned with risks. And then, believe it or not, something like DR as a services is coming back. And there's a lot of activity in that space because customers are having concerns with their physical infrastructures. They no longer have the people there, and there are risks, right? So it has exposed some of the risks that were there, but it was not on front page, let's put it this way. So we created an offer with AWS to offer this disaster recovery as a service and help those customers. But above all, we see a change in behavior in this space. There's still, of course, a lot of companies that are in self-preservation, depending on the industry they are in. But there's also companies that are looking at this as an opportunity, right? Their business is not booming, it's maybe somewhat flat, but they are looking at this as an opportunity to question and rethink how they do things, what are the dependencies that they have, physical elements on people working from the office, right? And for us, we like to be there and partner with them. We like to help them figure out what's the next logical step and what makes sense to them. And as I mentioned before, a lot of what we see our role when it comes to AWS is really unlocking the value, helping the customers understand what AWS has created. Because we deal with mission critical enterprise applications, a lot of times we have to glue and fill those gaps, right, between what the services release and what the customers really need, and putting all of that together. So we see a lot of our business as putting together those components, those AWS services, and unlocking the value of those services over time, and continuously doing so we can deliver increased value over time and continue to unlock the AWS innovation to our customers.
Marcel, this has been an incredible conversation, and you've made a couple of key points that are worth repeating. I love the way that you use the term fill the gaps. You're the glue that helps fill the gaps that are missing in some of these companies as they're trying to make sense out of their infrastructure and get the most out of it. Yep. And I do love the real world scenario that you've laid out about looking beyond ERP, being able to provide real world solutions for this COVID world for working from home. And many companies were just not ready to do that. And you've offered them a really quick turnaround solution that allows them to get up and running and be productive in a very short period of time that is adjacent to what you can do for their ERP solutions as well. So absolutely. I'm really looking forward to seeing the future evolution of what Syntax is able to do as we move from this period of self-preservation into an area of now what are we going to do to take advantage of the rest of our opportunities you know, when COVID starts to open up and we hopefully get a vaccine very quickly.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think this sets the stage for us to have another conversation to talk about what you've done since this conversation and the next time that we speak to see if additional insights can be gathered and to see what kind of new successes you're able to provide for us and for our customers. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today to learn a little bit more about the people that are behind one of our really great partners, Syntax, and I'm really looking forward to our next conversation, Marcelo.
Thank you very much, Mike. I thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to discussing and talking further. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Marcelo. This was excellent. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the next one.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.